So today is Wednesday. So on Monday, we were talking about the progress of Mettā, at least briefly, generally how the Mettā progress from beginning stage all the way to the first jhana, and in between, what are the things that a yogi may have to go through? What are the stages of concentration? What are the hindrances, more or less, or zero, or the faculties too, the faculties getting stronger and stronger as you develop further. Basically, these are usually the progress of this meditation. But for tonight, I start off going back a little bit on to these hindrances and obstacles. It's easier to understand. It's not so much of big words like jhana and this and that, So not so much on that. But tonight's talk is much easier to understand, but it's much more difficult to do. It's easy to understand, but it's difficult to do for many of you. The reason I was thinking of what topic to give. Now after going through a number of all these interviews, I've seen that a number of yogis, a number of meditators are going through a certain degree of difficulty. For example, like a lot of sleepiness that arises while they meditate, and also a lot of thinking that comes up in the meditation. Now, while we are doing vipassana at that time, when we're doing vipassana, when we are in the retreat in the vipassana, when you have a lot of these hindrances and so on, then one of the recommendation is that you can try some samatha meditation to overcome your hindrances, And they try in the retreat, they could do that, they could reduce it. But right now, we are already in samatha meditation, and yet the hindrances coming in, and then must be a bigger problem here. And it's even a bigger problem right now. What are we going to fall back to? So here's something that we're going to look into it. And we're going to look into it a little bit more. But as I said, it's easier to understand, but it's a bit difficult to do. Okay. Right, let us share the screen. Okay, let me close some of my program here and there. Okay, all right. Okay, let's see. Okay. Can you all see? Pali Bodha and Nivarana. Okay. Good. Now, the Pali word, obstacles or impediments, is called Pali Bodha. And the Nivarana, it's the hindrances. Usually it's the 5 hindrances. And normally, while we are in the meditation state, we are dealing with the Nivarana. It's dealing with the hindrances. But it is this Pali Bodha, it is this obstacles or impediments that while you are meditating at home, this one we have to look into it, because this one, it gives rise to your 5 hindrances. This Pali Bodha. No matter how you're going to deal with your hindrances of sloth and torpor or your restless mind, but your Pali Bodha, if you don't do anything about it, all the obstacles don't do anything, then it will keep on coming and coming and coming and coming. And then you say, Bhante, keep on sleepy lah. How? What are you going to do during? Then one of the biggest reasons is this Pali Bodha. And this is where I really cannot control you anymore. Because this will be, this is one of the cons of meditating at home. One of the biggest cons of meditating at home. While we are in the retreat, while in the retreat, this Pali Bodha, these obstacles, we severe it quite a lot. We severe it quite a lot, although there's some small degree is still there. So this Pali Bodha, we need to look into it. These are the obstacles. Now, okay, let us look into it a little bit more. Okay. Now here is called the 10 impediments or the 10 obstacles. This one, you can find it in Visuddhimagga, Path of Purification, chapter 3, paragraph 29. I might as well let y'all look at it a little bit since stop sharing here. Stop sharing here. Let's share another one. Hey, hold on. It didn't come out. All right. Okay, one more time. See whether it come out or not. Hey, still doesn't come out. Hold on. Okay. Now where is my Zoom? Yes. All right. Where is it? Okay, chapter 3. Hold on, yes, this is the one. Can you see? 10 impediments? Yes. This one is in the Visuddhimagga. I take all these things, that this one, that you have to severe these 10 impediments before you actually do a proper retreat. So this one, they'll explain some of the things to you. But this one, it's meant for monks or nuns. It's meant for monks or nuns. But nevertheless, we can afterwards. I'll summarize it. It's easier for us to read because this is a lot of words over here. You can try go into a Visuddhimagga, and under this chapter of chapter 3, then you can call it the 10 impediments or the 10 obstacles. Dasa Pali Bodha. Okay. So we stop the staring. We go to the back to the words file. All right, here it's the same thing. I put it in more compact form, so it's easier for all of us to see. Now, these 10 impediments is one. For example, like number 1, when you're staying in the monastery, like in the monks or nuns staying in the monastery, when the place is crowded and you have got a lot of activities and a lot of duties that the monks or nuns have to perform, then of course it will take up a lot of their time and a lot of their time away from meditation. So certain monastery, if the monk or nun is staying there, it may not be a good place to do a retreat. Although it is a own place, even is a monastery or dwelling, because this is maybe crowded or activities, or you may have duties to perform. For example, like I have once in a while I have some nuns, at one time from Fo Guang Shan, some nuns came to meditate, and also some monks also came to meditate with me in the Kota Tinggi. They have a lot of duties, especially Mahayana nuns and monks. They have a lot of duties to do. They have to take care of the prayers. They have to take care of the chanting. They have to take nuns, and sometimes they have to take care of the cooking. And then they have a lot of zero time to meditate. So when they come to meditate, when they come to the retreat center in Kota Tinggi, just like the lay people, they have to take like 3, 4, 5 days just to rest themselves. They go through all the sleepiness and drowsiness and so on, and then only the body starts to able to recover and only starts to do a proper meditation. So you see, even monks or nuns have all these so-called problem also, the impediments also towards meditation. Yeah? I said, then that time I really didn't know that they got so many duties. So I asked them, why you going to come for like 10 days, or some of them come for 2 weeks only? Why come for 2 weeks only? Go for more longer, stay for like 2 months or 1 month and so on. Oh, cannot, Reverend, cannot. We got a lot of duties to go back. The abbot, give us this one, and then after that we have to go back already. Well, this is like they are taking leave only, taking leave. Just like working, they have to take leave, go to meditate finish, and then go back and do all the work duties again. So this is one of the things. So if you are in a crowded meditation, crowded monastery, crowded activities and so on, then it could be a big problem. Number 2, here is the relatives. Relatives here is your own relatives, your own supporters. And when they come in, when they are nearby, then you have to perform certain duties for them. For example, if somebody pass away, if their own, your own relatives pass away, or your supporters' relative pass away, then when they invite you for like chanting, for like death chanting and so on, or to perform certain wholesome action so that we can do sharing of merits to them, and therefore, you still, the monk or nun has to perform that duty for them. And sometimes they may have sickness and so on, then they invite the monks to go for offerings. So offering before, sometimes they are in their last stage of their life already, and there are not much of time left, and then they invite the monks so that they can able to perform the dana and perform a robe offering, even they are almost dying right now, so that they have a good merits and so on. So we sometimes we do that, and of course that although we show the kindness to the devotees, but in terms of you want to meditate, that will be a problem. That will be a problem because this type of own relatives and supporters, they may have their own needs for a spiritual person. So that could be a problem. Could be this one and so on. And sometimes the relatives, if you stay nearby, if you are nearby also, and sometimes the family members, they quarrel this one, quarrel that one. Then they come and tell the monk, because the monk is part of the family. Then one side will tell the monk, and then after that the other side will tell the monk this one. Then you have to hear two sides of them. When it's nearby, when the relatives are nearby. So again, it's an impediment. We are not talking about starting meditation yet. So if let's say while you are meditating, you are doing some retreat on your own, and then these supporters come in and they try to, asking you for this and do this and do that and so on, then it can be a problem here. Then while we are going through this all this 1 to 10, think for yourself right now. What are your problems that you are facing at home or wherever you are? What are the problems? It may not be the same as what the number 1 to number 10 here. It may not be the same, but it is a big chunk of your life, a big chunk of your time that you are putting into it, that you cannot able to do the meditation. You think about it. Maybe after a short while, maybe we'll look into it also a little bit more. Number 3, gains. This is the gains of the 4 requisites and the gifts and so on, from people, from lay people and so on. Now, for example, these 4 requisites, people offered robes and so on. When you are in a big monastery, and sometimes people come from overseas, they come and then they get a lot of robes and offer it to you, or to the monks, to the place, and then therefore there'll be crowd of people come in, and then where they offer a lot of gifts and so on, then you have to, the monks, if there's no other people to help you, then the monks have to sort out all these requisites in the proper manner. And take for example, if like in the katina, a big katina, a huge katina, then let's say there's not many devotees in helping, to sort out all these type of things. So the monks and nuns have to go and all do all these type of things, and then they have to be a quartermaster. They have to arrange these bowls to be go here, ropes have to go there, this thing have to go here, that thing have to go there. No, it's a lot of work actually. Then after you think about it, how when it's going to expire, and some of the medicine when it's going to expire, things like that. Who to give it to, where to send it to. There's a lot of work just to think about that requisites. So that's why I stay in a small place like Peace House here. Not much of things for me to think about. It's simple. But even a big monastery is different. You got a lot of things to do. So one of the big things to do is to manage all these requisites, to put them in their proper place, to know where to store them, and so on. Number 4, class. You have a class or you have pupils right now. If the monks, like for example, right now, you have a Dhamma talk and I have a retreat going on. Not a retreat, a Mettā Bhāvanā. But still, for example, I have to manage the interview, okay? I have to manage the talk, things like that, and background things. There are a number of things that we have to do also, So all these things is duties. And you have a class and you have the pupils and you have to give the time to them, to listen to them, and so on. So therefore, it takes up the time to meditate. In the beginning of this Mettā Bhāvanā, when after the registration all going in and coming in, and Saturday, Sunday, I'm so stressful those 2 days. So I've never have stress so long already, Give Dhamma talk every day. 1, 3, 5. That one more or less quite easy. Not so. But when you start organizing a retreat, that is where the headache comes in. And then we have to sort you out to where to put you into which category, which group, and how to do this and how to do that. And while we are organizing this, I have to think about what Dhamma talk to give and so on. So everything I come together. Then tao tia already, headache already. But nevertheless, we can pull through. But I was thinking to myself, then compared to some of the devotees, my goodness, you all have to do it like this every day. These 2 days only I complain already. Every day for the rest of your life, you have to do all these things. You got to look at your bosses, or you have to go into Zoom, and one day, how many Zoom that you have to go in? For me, for example, one day sometimes I have two Zoom sessions with the interview, morning ones and night ones. 2 Zoom sessions. Already, so much Zoom already inside here. Then I look and I heard some of you are going through all these virtual sessions with all your clients and with all your work and so on. You have to 5, 6, 7 hours in front of that computer and camera. And here I am. Anyway, this one is one of the things. So some teachers and some, they have a lot of students and they have a lot of young monastics, samaneras, and they are learning and so on, all kinds of Buddhist knowledge, and then you have to teach them, you have to guide them, you have to check on them, and so on. Then it can be a strong impediment for the monk who wish to meditate or the nun who wish to meditate. Okay, and number 5 here is Nawakama, new construction. Here, karma here, it's here in the sense of activities. In the sense of activities of a place, that means there's a construction that's going on. So, a number of monasteries, especially in the Thai tradition, construction of a new building, the monk has to perform it. The monk has to perform it. They have to have some knowledge of building, of a place, and especially like if you are in the more of a Western countries, and then you have to go through all these guidelines of the government guidelines or local guidelines, how much drainage but you must have, how is the roof like, how's the foundation like, how many pillars that you need to do, all these type of things. So it takes a lot of your knowledge, and you have to learn about all these type of things in order for you to perform all these building works. And not only that, you have to think about the cement, the bricks, and so on. You have to, not only that, you have to climb up to the roof and put all the things and so on and on. So sometimes I've seen these monks. Because I traveled to Thailand, I've seen these monks doing all kinds of work. And then after that, when the later part in the evening, when you stop the work, and the body is tired. The body is really tired, and to even want to meditate. So a lot of times it's just about resting. After all, evening also they don't take much of of heavy food already. Not like a dinner. So although they take some honey and so on, it's just to pass through the night only. So it's quite difficult to do. Now, even right now, let's say if your house right now is going through a construction period, then also it can be a problematic. You're going to be there looking at them, have to be there, you have to clean up and so on. After that, and then also be a problem for you to meditate too. Now here number 6 is traveling. Traveling, of course, a lot of us Malaysians are not able to travel that much. But some people, yes, some other countries, they may be able to travel already. So traveling also, if you are going from places to places, sometimes you need to rush, you need to chase the plane, you need to be on time, you need to do a number of things. Sometimes the schedule is all upside down, it gets delayed and so on. Then it got a lot of impediments is here. So it's going to be difficult too. Number 7. Number 7 is more towards you all too. Here, your duties here in this Visuddhimagga, this one kins means people that is close to you. Duties, that means you have to perform duties to the preceptors, a duty to the teachers or other monks or other nuns, all other duties. For example, if your preceptor or your teachers is sick, you have to take care of them. And you have to put a lot of time taking care of them. So too that some of you also, you may have to take care of your parents because they may be sick. So you have to be there to do. And sometimes when they are sick, they're not just at home, but you have to go to the hospital. You have to do perhaps some to check up or even dialysis and this and that. So a lot of times is spending helping them as a caregiver or as a caretaker. Then it will take up a lot of your time. Okay, there's a lot of your time that you have to do this. Now, number 8, your own sickness. This is your own illness. Now, when your own illness is here, then it can be a problem. It can be a big problem. Now, your own illness here is that sometimes, especially the number of you are having certain illness, and you're taking certain medication. And that medication makes you drowsy, makes you difficult. So no matter how you try to overcome that sloth and torpor, because of the medication itself, when you sit or when you walk, it will give rise to that tiredness, it gives rise to that non-clarity of the mind, sleepy, Sometimes it makes you, some of the medication makes your heart palpitate a bit stronger, makes you uncomfortable. Sometimes maybe there's some rashes coming up here and there, So this is your own illness. In fact, here also during the retreat right now, there's also one of the participants also is in pregnant state. I think within the next week or so, the baby is going to come out already. So with that, even with that, you try to meditate. The the yogi try to meditate is wonderful, but of course there will be tiredness, and there will be a lot of mood swings and the mood up and down, and it's going to be difficult in that sense, the uncomfortableness of the body. So that will be also another problem to come to, when you want to do a meditation. Okay, study. The next one is study. Here the Visuddhimagga says that if you are in a process like study study the Vinaya, study the Suttas, or study the Abhidhamma, and you have classes to attend and so on, and then it's going to be difficult for you to able to go into retreat or meditation. Now here, like for example, when even in nowadays, there are monks who have gone for like Buddhist studies, Buddhist studies in university or in a certain study monastery. And when you go study monastery, of course you have your timetable, you have your schedule, which class to go, and then you have how many minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour for the class, and then after finish that class, you have to move to another class, So even some monks and so on, they're taking up these degree courses and so on, or even PhD courses and so on. They have a lot for them to perform, and they have assignment to be done, and they have exams to take care of, So they have to study a lot of all this. So definitely they wouldn't able to meditate, because everything they need to cram inside their head. So this is one thing that when I become a monk, I gave up on study already. I mean study as a degree thing. I thought that enough of study already. Me and the books are not so have very close connection, Although at the back all around me, you see right now here, all books, in the library here. In front of me also all books. But I don't study all the books. I study what is necessary for my enlightenment only. Other than that, forget about it. If the degree courses don't give me enlightenment, then I'll think about it. It's not my priority. Meditation directly for enlightenment, then make sure I put a lot of time into it. That's for me. But for other people, it's different. For other people, they love to do some study, Abhidhamma study, Sutta study, and they have to go into analysis and comparison and so on, assignments and so on. They love to do all that thing. It's perfectly all right. It's up to you, But it's for me. I don't go into all these type of things. So study can be one of the impediments, very strong impediment. Supernormal powers. I think y'all don't have lah. Put it this way. I think lah. This supernormal powers is where you have a psychic powers. Like for example, you can able to go through the wall. You can fly in the air, and you can have a divine eye, divine ear, things like that. You can read other people's mind. Those type of things. I again here, I don't think that you have. The only supernormal powers the Buddha says, which is the best of all, is the Arahanta. Arahanta, that also is a supernormal powers, because it eradicate all defilements. That is also is the 6th supernormal powers. So I don't think you have 1 to 5. Well, you got 1 to 5, all this type of divine ear, divine eye, all these type of things. I don't think you ought to have this. So number 10, we can put it aside for most of you. Maybe I do not know, but I think so. By the way of you, how you interview, we know already. So if for those who have, if you want to go for enlightenment, all these supernormal powers, you got to put aside. All the divine eye and everything, you got to put aside. If not, you keep on playing with them. Keep on using them, and then again here you take up a lot of your time. So again here, this number 1 to number 10, for these type of things, they may be, for a lot of them, it can be an impediment. But for some of these things may not be an impediment. Some of these may not be an impediment. So sometimes, for example, if let's say number 7, if you have some duties to your preceptor, but for a short period of time of the day, then you have do your thing. Then after that, you go to your own meditation and so on. Then it does not affect you in your meditation. Then it's not an impediment to you. If sometimes in the monastery you need to do a certain activity for once a week, for example, once a week you just need to do, and the rest of the week you don't have to do all this type of thing. So this may not be an impediment to you. So a number of things, it may not be an impediment for some people. Now, what are the things that right now that we go through in this Mettā Bhāvanā? Because this is in the stage of 2 weeks plus already. In 2 weeks plus, then more or less we can able to understand how come this love and torpor is here, how come the thing is here, how come the restless mind is here. So what is the major things that you are going through right now in your life, that it becomes an obstacle, becomes an impediment for your Mettā Bhāvanā? Let me see whether I can able to answer all the question. I don't think so I can able to answer all the question. You see, first of all, when I do this Mettā Bhāvanā thing, when I practice this Mettā Bhāvanā thing, I did it in the retreat center. And I don't have a problem with all these obstacles and so on. I don't have all these things. And then with that, I have to deal with some of the hindrances only. And also when there's the hindrances also very little, because from Vipassana, I bring it, from Vipassana concentration and Vipassana, this one, I just bring all the concentration over to Mettā, and then therefore the Mettā also less hindrance. But this time, it is different. This time, you're at home, meditating at home, and me, I've not been home for the past like how many years already? I don't have a career, I don't have a livelihood, I don't have all these type of things to think about, So agak lah, here over here. What are the things that you have to go through? One of it is most probably is your livelihood. From what I've gathered through the interviews, one of the things is your livelihood, your career, your business, your profession, etc. That you do these things to gain some money. Now here, you have to spend a lot of your time in it. Imagine how many hours you are doing it. How many hours that you are this one. So if you have this business, career, profession, and so on, then you are looking into it, then it takes up a portion of your daylight time. A portion of your daylight time, from morning to say in the afternoon or right to the evening. So maybe 7-8 hours for you to able to do this type of things. Then of course, and you have to deal with your customers, you deal with your clients, you have to deal with certain arguments, and then you want to meditate at night, or you want to meditate the next morning. Hey, these things are carry over to your sleep and towards the next morning, Don't think that you sleep only and that's it, So sometimes in the morning you come up, then you say that you have a difficulty of meditating and so on. Then it can be one of the causes is because of your livelihood. That you feel a lot of sleepiness, a lot of restlessness in your mind while you are doing this Mettā Bhāvanā. What else? Family members you have within the same household. For example, you have your spouse, you have your children, you have your cooking, you have your cleaning, you have your, all the household work that you have to look into it. So this thing also take up a lot of your time. Unless you stay alone, you stay alone. Stay alone also, you have some degree of cooking or cleaning in the house too. So it will be less time compared to those who have spouse and children and so on. Yeah? So a lot of things that you have to look into. Yeah? Even like even you have a sudden construction things that you need to do. For example, if the roof leak, you cannot just let the roof leak while you meditate Mettā Bhāvanā. Hopefully the Mettā can protect the house and then the roof don't leak. Cannot. You got to ask somebody to come in and fix the roof already. You cannot leave it like that. So it has to be done immediately. So you got no choice. So these are the things that it takes up your time. Then again, you have relative, friends, workers that you have to think of. And one of the things is that some of you have to take care of your parents. Some of you have to take care of your parents who is sick, for example, just like kids, I'm at 7 up there. So here you have to take care of this one. And you have your workers to think about their safety and so on. Well, while you are in the office, those things, you have to think of their safety, when to go out, when not to go out, when to do this, when to not to do that. So all these type of things, you have to look into it. With the COVID, although the numbers are coming down a bit in Malaysia, but we are not out of the woods yet. We are still there. You just do not know. You go out there, and then you're afraid that your parents and the older people, they may get contracted with this disease and so on. Then be a problem for them. So you also worried about them. Then here, number 4, it will be your own sickness. Your own sickness, your own illness that you have difficulty to perform the Mettā Bhāvanā. What else you have that I cannot think of? If you can, you write down in the chat there, you just put there something. Because why I'm not at home? I'm not at home. I'm more like in the monastery. So I don't have that much of idea that what you are going through. But this is some of the things that is taking up a lot of your time. So a lot of your time, then it can be a problem. So I'm not sure. Maybe some of you will be number 5. Number 5 will be entertainment. Who knows what entertainment you're going through? All your TVs and all your Netflix and everything, you want to see. Your Korean drama that you want to continue, So these are the things that it takes up a lot of your time. So all these things give rise to your 5 hindrances when you meditate. So you ask me, Bhante, how to overcome sloth and torpor? It's really, while you're doing here, it's really cannot really overcome your sloth and torpor when your livelihood is so much. You have to take care of so much of all these things. And you have to take care of your family members and so on. Your mind get distracted because you have all other things that you are involved in. So it's going to be difficult, when we talk about these hindrances. And if we don't talk about this Pali Bodha. Now, we understand these things quite clearly, quite this one. But before we look into these hindrances a little bit more in a short while, let's go back a little bit more. Let's go back here. You see, this Pali Bodha, you give rise to this Nivarana, okay, that we can understand right now. But before this Pali Bodha, before these hindrances, I think there's another bigger another problem category, but I don't have a name for it. Let's say, for example, you are out of your job right now, and you have not have savings, and because of the COVID situation, your business collapsed, and your everything gone. Then this time, you don't even have time to think of Mettā Bhāvanā. In fact, right now, you're going to have a lot of worry, a lot of fear, what is going to happen to you or your family, which a lot of people are going through right now. And it's unfortunate that we have to go there. For many of you, because you have financial stability right now, you don't have to worry about all these type of things. You don't have to worry about that financial, because the financial thing is still going through quite well. Yeah. You don't have to worry about shelter, because perhaps that you don't have to pay the rent so much, or you have the financial means to still able to pay the rent. And now there are a lot of people, who cannot able to pay the rent, and they're not going to have any more shelter. And what more? Talking about meditation. And when you don't even have a shelter, financial is not there, how one is going to have a meditation? Yeah? So these are the things is even stronger than all the Pali Buddha, which is part of the basic necessity that you still have. And it's good because of your good karma that you can still able to perform, and you still have job to do, you still have finances to go, or you have some savings to go, or you have some pension, or you have some EPF to go to sustain you. Then you don't have to worry about all these things. Then you can do that. Yeah? So for a lot of people, even before Pali Buddha, is even the stronger one. Yeah? So because you don't have that problem, then this Pali Buddha is your main issue. Yeah? Then after that, we deal with this Pali Buddha, then we can able to deal with the hindrances. Okay? Now, let us go back to the document. Okay. Now, so that part is even more difficult. No? That part is even more difficult. So then it comes Pali Buddha. Okay? Now, so what can we do? You cannot give up your work, isn't it? Unless you take leave, take leave, which some of us do. Some of you take leave for 2 weeks and then you do this Mettā Bhāvanā. Well and good. Good. Some of you may not able to do it, because I know, so I already figure out that a lot of you may not able to take leave. So you only have like 2 hours to meditate. 2 or 3 hours to salvage from your time, from your waking time, for you to do this meditation. So it's already that little already. Some of you can able to do more, 3 or 4 hours. Wonderful. And some of you can do up to more than 8 hours, 10 hours, because, well, you don't have much thing to do. You don't have a work, you don't have a profession, you don't have a family members to take care of, you're still healthy and so on. You don't have to, your parents is well taken care, so you can able to meditate, which is a very good thing. But how many of us are in this category? Not many of us in this category. So, what can we do right now? What can we do in order to reduce these hindrances of ill will, or usually is this sloth and torpor and worry? Yeah? Sloth and torpor and restlessness and worry. This number 3 and number 4. This is a lot of you are going through, because one of the thing is because of all the top there, all the Pali Buddha that you are going through in your own way. So what can we do? How can we reduce this thing? Yeah. One of the things that I would recommend is before you meditate, make sure you sleep first. It sounds counterintuitive, but the problem is that we're going through all your livelihood throughout the day. For example, your body is tired. You are tired. You're mentally tired, and your body is tired. So actually, you need rest. Your rest is that this type of rest is not sit down and while eating and conversing with your spouse, with your children, and so on. This is not the rest that I meant. A rest I meant is that you truly lie down, close your eyes for half an hour, 45 minutes. Rest first. If you want to meditate in the evening, that's it. Then rest first. Then with that, when you are resting, then when you wake up, when you get up from this one, then after that you want to do an evening sitting or afternoon sitting, then your body and mind is much more fresh. If not, you're going to bring all the tiredness from all that you are working, and then the body and mind has no rest at all. Then you want to go into the meditation. That is one of the things that is going to have a lot of your sleepiness is there, a lot of your drowsiness is there. So this is one of the biggest problem, because a lot of times we don't have enough rest. We just want to do and do and do and do, and then you forget about the rest. Yeah. So here, one of the things that if you want to meditate in the afternoon or evening, you need some degree of rest, and you must make sure that, or if you don't want to rest, you must make sure that your body is not that tired. And your mind is not thinking about your work and so on. Because a lot of times, if there is a certain problem that's cropping up, a lot of times, even after your work, you are thinking about it. You're thinking about it. And then that time, when you cannot able to reduce it, then when you want to meditate in the evening or in the afternoon, it will carry on towards it. So you need a bit of rest, which is good. This is at home. We are not talking in the meditation retreat, We are not talking in the meditation retreat out there. This is at home situation. So usually, for example, at times when I'm tired in the afternoon, I just take a short nap. Then when a short nap, I woke up, then I do my meditation. And it's much more clearer, so much more clearer compared to when there's no nap. Of course, when other days, when the body is not tired at all, then it's perfectly all right. So the nap can be a very good thing if you want to meditate in the afternoon or in the evening. Now in the morning, some of us are meditating in the morning. Of course, you just wake up. You wake up and so on. Then when you start to want to meditate, my suggestion is to you in the morning and you want to meditate, you take something warm and something there to give you some energy. And you need that because your body needs to warm up first in order to internally and externally. It needs to some degree of warming up in order for your mind to be more alert. And you need that alertness. So what we can do is this. Your morning you get up, you do a bit of exercise if you want to, but not make you tired and go into the park for 1 hour and then you go and sweat it all out, and then after that you thought that you are fresh and you thought that you are clear, then after that you go in for a sitting meditation, then after that it gets tired. Because that time when you are active, you don't feel the tiredness, but when you sit down quietly, then the tiredness is slowly going to come into you, and then while you are doing it, then the sloth and torpor will start coming in. So in the morning, if you want to exercise, make sure that it's not a heavy exercise. If you want to meditate in the morning together, after your exercise, but make sure that it's not a heavy exercise that you're going to do. It's not going to be a heavy breakfast that you if you want to take something warm, something light, but give you some energy that you can able to do the meditation. Don't think that just sitting down there, may all beings be well and happy, so nice, so peaceful, not need energy. You need some degree of energy to do that. So you need a good rest. Now, sometimes some of you, which sometimes I ask, some of you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm still in the... I just cannot compare to all of you. Because I said, I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. But nevertheless, if you want to meditate in the morning, you want to meditate in the morning, now after a few hours you get up, even after like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, you can get some sleepiness, because some sleepiness may pop in, because perhaps that time the mind starts to become sleepy. Even for example, when I'm in the retreat time, when I wake up at 4 o'clock, after a while, my body get adapt to it. But there will be at times, reaching up to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, it's a bit sleepy. That period of time, sometimes it's a bit struggle. So sometimes, not all the time, sometimes a bit struggle. So that time also, after a while, you have to bear up with it. For you at home, for example, if you know that it's been happening for a number of days, let's say for example 3 days down the road, you notice that particular 9 to 10 o'clock session, you know that it's going to be sleepy, then that time, don't use that time to meditate. Use that time to do some other exercise or some household duties. And then you use that time so that your mind still can be awake. So this is one of the things here. All right. So nap is important, rest is important for you to meditate at home. So you need to have that thing. So in the weekends, when you do not have much of thinking of your work to do, but does not mean that it doesn't flow from your weekdays into your weekend also. Maybe less, yes, but it will be good that you have a good rest, clear all your schedule, all your things, and then try to meditate in the Saturday, Sunday when you have less commitment to other things. If you can. So try that and see. So rest is one of the important things. Now, second thing, when you stay at home and you want to meditate, one thing I know is that you must keep up, your body needs to be somewhat active and healthy. That means you need some degree of exercise. You need some degree of exercise because some of us are quite lazy. You want to be more sedentary. You want to be sit down there only. And you want to do a lot of things. And then with the body which is not active, and sometimes the tiredness is there, when you go into a meditation, then also become a problem. So, or if your livelihood, for example, some of you are doing things, doing your livelihood, that you have to sit in front of the computer, sit in front of that camera, and so many hours per day. You are so sedentary also, although you are talking and so on, but you are sitting. So when you are sitting too much, then that could be a problem too. So you make your body tired. So you make your body tired and go into meditation, again there's a problem. So you need some degree of exercise. Not in the time that immediately exercise, you go into a sitting or walking. That will be a problem. You exercise a little bit, make sure that there's a sweat comes out and some good exercise is there to make your mind and body alert. That would be very good for you. You need to have that some degree of exercise in order for you to if you want to meditate. What else is there? This is the next big thing. Don't eat too much lah. Eat too much, of course, how are you going to meditate? I'm not talking just about you. Sometimes I have to remind myself also. And over here, the devotees are very kind. They bring all kinds of food for me. And all kinds of food for me in front of the table. Actually, whole liao. That one also whole liao. This one also good. That one also good. Then after you eat too much, then very sleepy in the afternoon. So I have to control too. So for you also, you have to control too. Eat enough, but you need to eat, and you also need to have to know where your portion is. And again, sometimes your livelihood and your work, and then your eating hours are all upside down. Sometimes you got to eat a bit earlier because you have a meeting later, and you got to eat later because you have a meeting early. Things like that. So sometimes you go upside down, and then it affects your body and also everything. So when you come into the meditation, it carries the thinking all go through all these things. So it's hard to say. And again, sometimes if your children giving you problems, or your spouse giving you a problem, and so on, then there will be a lot of hindrances in your sitting meditation and in your walking meditation, and so on. So a lot of your hindrances, after I gather from all the thing that I've heard now, it's a lot to do with your Pali Bodha. It's a lot to do with your thing. But in yet, you cannot give up on them. You cannot give up. You still have to do your duties because you're at home. Okay? So therefore, when this Mettā Bhāvanā, don't put your expectation too high. You know why? Because some of you meditate 2 hours a little bit only. Bhante, how come I got no peace and got no calm on? I hear other people, they got peace, they got calm, and they got peaceful, and so on. Then I don't have. How I meditate 2 weeks already, still like that, How come, Bhante? How come? Why? Because that again, all the past, all these Pali Bodhas, and in behind it, we do not know what they are doing. We do not know what you are doing, in fact. And also another thing is that whether you have other past meditation experiences or not. If you don't have other past meditation experiences, then it's a bit difficult when you want to develop this metta. And you have to go through all the difficulty of sloth and torpor, ill will, sensual desire, restlessness, and so on. You have to go through all those things. So when you go through all those things, as they build up, then the mind becomes clearer, the metta become more flowing, the metta more expanding, more continuous, the mind more calm, more peaceful. That means hindrances become less. The hindrances become less. That means here you can know how to control your Pali Bodha. So a lot of these things have got to do with your thing here. So while we are in the retreat, while in a proper retreat, in a physical retreat, we don't have to deal with all these things like Pali Bodha anymore. That time, we'll deal exactly with the hindrances. So a lot of times I was thinking, if I were to tell you how to overcome some sloth and torpor thing, how to note this, how to note that, how to overcome sensual desire, it will not be that successful. It will not be that successful. Some may able to do it, but a lot will not be successful because the Pali Bodha is a very strong thing. Okay? Now, what else? Yes, in the chat there is good. Don't read all the messages and all your phone and all that. Turn it off, which is very good. Yes, this is one of the biggest thing. Yes. That's one of the. And nowadays, it's terrible. Sometimes that you all go through all these WhatsApp chat messages and Facebook and those things. They send a lot of all kinds of unnecessary pictures and so on. Sometimes all kinds of unnecessary news. Sometimes terrible pictures, and some of the pictures, and you look at it, it kind of like it become like a mental image to you. And some, for example, they send some accident images. You look, there got accident. You see the person, like for example, like yesterday or today, somebody got beheaded, and then they take a photo and then they send to everybody. And then, of course, when you look at those things, in your meditation, that image is going to come out very clearly, But no, what to do? You're staying in the world of interaction. A lot of all this stuff, interaction is going to be a big problem. When people send me these type of things, after that, I send back that and admonish back. Next time you send me these things again, I'm going to cancel your name already. I mean, not in the group, because other people, and they send all this kind of nonsense. I straight away, I block them off. I can do that. Anyway. Okay, of course, we stop here for tonight. Already 10 o'clock already. Now, on Friday again, we have this Q&A session. Again, the Q&A session will be on the Metta thing and not on all other questions, Mettā Bhāvanā or the Dhamma talk. And also that, again, the priority we are given to those participants and also the ex-participants. of this Mettā Bhāvanā, because some of them already also retire in that sense, so they still have a chance if you want to ask the questions. Okay, so the number is on the chat there. So that's it for the night. Let's just share merits.